He's an entrepreneur and former CTO who helped scale Solutions 8 to an 8-figure exit.
March 2025, we were celebrating in Italy with first $1 million in revenue for the company. We never spent a single buck on marketing.
Why even go ahead and hire someone from Latin America through a company like Pareto Talent? Why would someone want to do that?
Flipped it completely. We implemented more like a challenge model where all of our EAs can participate in a bootcamp. They can join the free training program that goes for 10 days. It's 2 hours every day, where we teach them to apply to that. They need to go through like 45-minute process where we ask them for behavioral tests, cognitive assessments, personality test, Bloom introduction, CV, and a list of other questions. From 15,000 candidates that applied to the bootcamp for the last cohort, we only approved 750. And from 750, after the whole process, only 120 became Pareto Talent assistants. All of this business failed. And then I decided maybe I'm not entrepreneurial. And I stopped doing that. And I went to work for people. And that's what I found for myself, is that the problem was never me. The problem was that I worked with the wrong guys.
How do you have such a great business partnership? What is vibe coding and why is it so powerful right now?
All right. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Amazing Marketing Show. I'm excited to have you here because we have Ivan Bunin. He's an entrepreneur and former CTO who helped scale Solutions 8 to an 8-figure exit. That's a big deal. He co-founded Pareto Talent, an executive assistant staffing agency that hit $1 million in revenue and placed 90 EAs in the first year. Everyone's been talking about EAs. Everyone needs an EA. I have an EA. Chris has an EA. Everyone needs an EA. It's amazing. And so he's developing tools. He runs architects where his team builds AI apps. We're going to talk about the communities that he has. These communities are amazing, actually, for learning the vibe coding thing that's going on right now. Vibe coding is huge with AIs. Anyway, high level, you guys know Go High Level. This guy is the pro of Go High Level. He's helped me with Go High Level. I know for a fact he's amazing at this. Anyway, his focus is simple: help founders delegate better, automate smarter, and get their time back so that they can scale their business. Now, before Ivan comes in, I want to introduce my co-host, Chris Gray. Chris, what's going on?
Dimitri, what up?
I'm living the dream. Ivan, welcome to the show. Tell us about you.
Yeah, no, super happy to be here, guys. Sorry for the costume. We just had a call with all of our team. Like we had 50 people on Zoom all dressed up and everyone was showing off. And we had like emoji battle. Like everyone was like whoever gets the most emojis like wins. And we packed all of our merch together. So this person will get a ton of swag and all of these other things. So yeah, trying to celebrate Halloween.
Now, Ivan, I don't think you need to apologize at all. For you guys who are listening, Ivan is dressed as the Godfather. He does a great impression as far as the mannerisms. That's great.
I'm trying to get there. Yeah.
If you're watching it, you'll get the full experience of him smoking a cigar and everything. So, Ivan, you were just on a call with 50 EAs doing a contest on costumes. This is indicative of the type of culture that you help build. So I guess my question to you is, and you did this at Solutions 8 as well. So we'll get into many things in this episode, but I think one of the biggest things is culture within a business. So what do you think most businesses get wrong when it comes to building culture within their organization?
They don't speak with their employees. That's what I see left and right. People right now, entrepreneurs think that like I need to cut all of my meetings. I don't want to waste 15 minutes on meeting with my executive assistant, with the person literally running my day to day. I don't have time to meet with them. And I hear that like left and right. In Pareto Talent, for example, right now we have 3 weekly calls for like all hands, basically. So Monday we have training. So every Monday we have a training call where we present on new skills, new tools, anything that our executive assistants can benefit from. And that's a part of our like continuous education that we provide as a part of service to our clients as well. But right now, we've like after a year of these sessions, we flipped it to such a degree that our executive assistants are the ones running these calls for each other. because they get exposed to all of the other things and so on. So now like my team trains itself basically because of the different levels of exposure they get to different tools. And next call that we have is chit chat, we call that. And this is call where all of the management is not even allowed. So I never been on this call. This is just for our EAs. They get there and they talk about anything. And this call is usually in Spanish because all of our EAs are in Latin. And the last one is our Friday town hall. This is what we just had. This is call where we update all of our team on everything going on in the company. So what are the KPIs? How many sales calls we had this week? How many placed executive assistants we got? What is the retention rate? What was good versus bad? And today, given that it's the end of the month, we have Executive Assistant of the Month award, where we basically, one of the EAs gets awarded for accomplishment, for the feedback they received from the client, and so on, where we celebrate that. And we just announced that we will have EA of the Year award, where basically we will take all of the awards from the month and put them in the raffle, spin the wheel, and they will get a vacation that we paid for a week, basically. And that's what we are trying again to build with like the sort of culture we are trying to build. We want everyone to participate, everyone to know each other, because this is what allows your company to build this like loyalty kind of thing, where because it's hard to build loyalty when you're on Slack with somebody and just talk with them. It's much easier when you have like face-to-face conversation, even though it's like not in person. So that's kind of what we're trying to build. And the last thing with the town halls, what we are doing is by the end of each call of each town hall, we give 10 to 15 minutes to an EA that is either volunteer or voluntold to present, but they can present on any topic at all, any topic that is interesting them. You just have 15 minutes and like 50 people watching what you got, and they can present that, and that is what gives them the confidence on first of all being able to speak to everyone. And second, on getting to know them better. Like the girl that we had today was presenting on AI therapists and how people use AI and mess up their life because AI basically empowers your biases. So if you tell the AIs that, hey, I hear these voices and they tell me to go like do some stuff, AI will tell you, oh, really? Say hi to them. Something like that. Because AI is glazing you all the time right now with the current models. It's telling you, yeah, you're doing right. You're doing everything correctly and so on.
Oh man, AI is hilarious with that. They're like, you're the smartest person that's ever lived. I'm like, no, what I just said was not even good. What are you talking about, AI?
Yeah. So, and she was mentioned that a lot of like people go through problems right now with that, where they would mention like some troubles that they have in life or some things that they're thinking about, and the AI will empower them. And it drives, again, a lot of couples to separation and divorces and stuff like that. Because like you will start saying that, hey, I think my wife is cheating. And the AI will start like pointing out all of the aspects where you like, yeah, she is. Like here. Like she spent 20 minutes in the bathroom without you. What do you think she's doing there?
Yeah, good question. Us men are allowed to spend long periods of time in the bathrooms, yes, but women definitely not.
I had to delete chess from my phone because of that.
What are we doing in the bathrooms, guys?
No.
You know what? Okay, this is super side note, but you started it, Ivan. We check our phone time, like how much time we spend on our phones. We should have the same thing for bathrooms. Sure. At least our wives would probably like that. All right, back to a question. Okay, now I'm super interested in stock market and companies, and one of the top growers, I mean, honestly, maybe even in the same category, if not more than these big stocks like NVIDIA, we have companies like AutoZone. And I mention that because I think they're growing because of their culture. So I'm glad we're talking about this conversation. So that's culture. It isn't just for fun. You mentioned retention of your employees, and people do struggle with that. But let's go into the EA part of this. Okay, like why even go ahead and hire someone from Latin America through a company like Pareto Talent, where they're going to place an EA? Why would someone want to do that?
Yeah, great question. So the reason we got into all of this game in the first place, so I started as an executive assistant for my now business partner, Qasim Aslam. I started as his EA in 2018, almost exactly to this month. So I started in October of 2018 with him. And his job description was, I want somebody to look for my dentist and do all of like check my inbox. After 1 month, I doubled my salary. After 3 months, I doubled my salary again because of how much I was able to bring to the table. And it's probably a mistake of Kasim for growing me so fast. But the idea is of that.
He never gets anything right, does he?
I'm not allowed to say this.
Just
so
kidding.
The idea overall of an executive assistant and why people want executive assistant, need to want executive assistant, is that you as entrepreneur, you should be focused on the strategy and the growth, not particularly in execution. Because all of us entrepreneurs end up learning Facebook ads, Zapier automations, high level, all of the stuff that is like technical because we have to implement this in our business. But what if you had aspiration of like, hey, I need a funnel, I need an automation for this form. You go build it for me, please. So somebody who acts as your right hand. So this is what ultimately your executive assistant needs to be, is your right hand, your second brain kind of person. Helping you to stay on track, helping you to execute while you doing stuff that only you can do. So for example, content, networking, strategic discovery, strategic partnerships that you need to participate in. Your EA cannot come to a meeting with a possible partner and start like explaining to them why they need to invest or whatever. You can, but your EA can build a landing page, even though you can do it as well, right? That's the whole thesis of the executive assistant. Somebody who you can trust, somebody who can build this stuff. In Solutions 8, when I joined Solutions 8, it was 5 people, 6 people. So it was like fairly small company and like 20 clients. And when we exited from Solid, it was 65 employees and 200 clients or so. And the vast majority of these employees were from other countries than US, so they were remote. And this is what we learned to do really well. We learned to find high-level talent that is sitting over there. Because, again, in every country, there is a lot of very talented individuals that just didn't have a chance or didn't get the exposure to the chance, right? And that's what we are trying to reach. Like when Kasim found me, I was living in Poland as a student, and I was able to like grow in the company and by contribute to that. And then like eventually right now I moved to the US. But just giving somebody a chance is what we are empowering in here in Pareto Talent. Now, the reason why we started Pareto Talent is that because we know how this process works, we can filter out candidates really efficiently and then have a very efficient training. So, for example, from our most recent bootcamps, and we run it in cohorts. So whenever we are hiring, we don't have this, like I see it all the time with the hiring agencies, staffing agencies, where they have ongoing kind of, hey, apply to us, and so on. And then they just treat each person as like an application. In our case, we like flipped it completely. We implemented more like a challenge model, where all of our EAs can participate in a bootcamp. They can join the free training program that goes for 10 days. It's 2 hours every day, where we teach them on high-level AI, automations, inbox management, all of the main things for the EAs. And even to apply to that, they need to go through like 45-minute process, where we ask them for behavioral tests, cognitive assessment, personality test, Loom introduction, CV, and a list of other questions. And from 15,000 candidates that applied to the bootcamp for the last cohort, we only approved 750. And from 750, after the whole process and after our final project, only 120 became Pareto Talent assistants. So that's kind of the filtering that we are talking about. Like less than 1% of people go through the whole process. And once we are teaching them, in the end, we do something I mentioned, like final project. Basically, it's 12-hour project that they need to take, where they need to build like landing page in high level, build the full offer, build the deck, build the project scope, build ads for the Facebook ads, like mock-up of the ads, generate email copies to the partners, because like we, one of the requirements is to send emails to like podcast hosts, trying to get our fake entrepreneur on staff, on their podcast and so on. So by judging this final project, we can see who either had previous experience doing this stuff or who learned that well during the bootcamp. And that's the main fulfilling part for me in all of that, because we have people like Albano, who works with Tim Breton. He's part of Dreamen as well. Albano previously worked in a metal factory, never worked remotely. Had like toyed with development, but never was working remotely before. And now he's working with one of the most like sassy and tech savvy guy I know for like year and a half, crushing it for him. And that's sort of other opportunities that we are looking to provide to our executive assistants, because we are not only serving the client, we also serve the people that we place. And in the end of the day, like that's the question who we will side with if something is off. So if client tells me that, hey, this EA sucks, I will get the opinion of the EA as well and see what they are doing, right? Because in majority of the companies, like we are not valuing our employees. We are trusting the clients more than our own employees. And that's, I find, a big problem in the corporate culture overall, right? So yeah, that's in a nutshell Pareto Talent. And then the biggest kick our clients get out of all of the offer is lifetime replacement guarantee. So if your EA doesn't work out for any reason, if you decide that, hey, I want someone else, I want somebody with different skill set, we will replace them free of charge. And that's forever. And when I mentioned that to Alex Hermosi on the call, he said, geez, because that's not normal.
I think when you zoom out of everything that Ivan just said, what you will find is a very well thought out and very well ran system. And I think at its core, guys like Ivan and Dimitri, from what I experienced, are so good at systems. And by the way, I'm so glad that you two guys don't fight. And I say that because the toughest people I've ever fucking fought in my life are always like the Eastern European or the Central Asian, like shout out to Kazakhstan. I don't know what it is, but it's just system. It's like fighting. It's like a physical match, like a physical chess match with a polar bear. It's thought and it's super hard. So back to my point with systems. You guys are really, really good with systems, both y'all. And you, Ivan, in particular, are great with it. And so when I look at that, let's look at vibe coding, right? It makes me think of vibe coding. There's a system to it, but it's a little more accessible because it's a little easier to do this nowadays. And so I want you to explain to people out there, what is vibe coding and why is it so powerful right now? So yeah, both like Solutions 8 and Pareto Talent right now are built on SOPs. Like I have SOP process for every single thing. And the best like way to approach that right now, in my opinion, and I have a video on that on YouTube, scope out all of the process in your business. Just open AI and turn on the voice mode and just tell everything that goes on in your business step by step from the client perspective. Like step one, what they submit, what happens after that, and so on. And then go through each SOP one by one. Like I have a full like Google Doc with 30 different pages and page for each process. Like how do assistants get through our application process? What are the things that we are checking? What do you need to click in high level to accept them or deny them and stuff like that? So we scope all of this out. Now, here's where the vibe coding comes into all of that. Because previously, you had to force your business in a frame of the tools that were provided to you. So if your business is doing like, I don't know, real estate, you need to use this particular software, right? And if you want to offer something outside of what the software provides you with, you can't. Like you cannot give clients extra like dashboard, let's say, that you want them to see, right? Because just software limitations. Right now with vibe coding, you don't need to squeeze your business in this frame, in this box of the features, but you use the software, like you use this vibe coding thing to build the software that will allow you to expand and offer something that will become a cutting edge for your business, right? So I'm talking right now about the internal use of this software for your own company to boost your own internal productivity. So I started with vibe coding by solving our problem in Pareto Talent. In Pareto Talent, we are using like 47 different metrics to match entrepreneur with an EA because we have all of the assistants in the pool. We know their personalities, we know their cognitive level, we know their previous experiences, we know what they're good at, bad at, and so on. The question now is how do we like match hundreds of assistants with like hundreds of different entrepreneurs based on these criteria, right? Previously, we were doing it manually. We were just checking everything and trying to remember everyone.
And when we had like 10 clients, 20 clients, it was easy. Right now we are at 100 plus clients, and it's hard because I don't remember all of the names anymore. And this is where you need system. This is where that's why a lot of entrepreneurs struggle with scaling, is because they are like relying on themselves, remembering and doing everything, and they don't have the proper SOPs and all of that. So we built our own tool that acts as a matching tool, where basically entrepreneurs submit the questionnaire from their end, EAs submit the questionnaire from their end. Then AI takes all of this information in consideration, plus all of our knowledge base on what means good versus bad, and then spits out top candidates for us. And that tool is integrated with our Airtable, where we store all of the information on all of the assistants and all of the entrepreneurs. That tool is integrated with OpenAI API key to use AI functionality of that. That tool is integrated with High Level in order to be able to send emails to us and mark clients and so on. And right now, all of my internal team, so I have like 3 HRs that work for us, they use that as a first signal indicator on what assistant could be a match for entrepreneur, which takes their matching time from like 3-4 days, like to realistically to open this up, check everyone and so on, prepare email, to under like 4 hours right now. In 4 hours after entrepreneur submits the questionnaire, they can use the tool, output everything, and be ready to go. That's why, like, whenever entrepreneur starts with us, they get matching EAs next day. So you get an email with, "Hey, here are the 3 picks, top EAs for you," and so on. So that's how my journey with Vibe Coding started, and this is what we are using it for. If you guys want, I can try to like screen share and show you how all of that looks like, and we can jump into that. But right now we are starting discovering Vibe Coding more and more. So more and more things are being solved for us internally with Vibe Coding. For example, the content repurposement. Right now, whenever I create a YouTube video, I instructed my EA, I built an app where I instructed her to get the link of the video, go there, paste the link, and AI spits out content for Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, blog posts, and description for the YouTube based on the transcript of the video alone, and it's written in my voice following the best practices. So that tool is fully Vibe coded using Lovable as well. And so we are using it internally, and this is the tool that I'm right now start to make public. So now you can go ahead and buy it for $7 a month. And I'm taking that as well, starting marketing that too. So that's the power of Vibe coding, is to solve in very distinctive, like one issue that either there is no solution for, or you can make the solution like yourself without much effort anymore.
I think that people listening to this probably fall into 2 camps. One camp's like, I'm interested and I don't really want to do anything with this. Like, can somebody else do this for me? And then the other camp is, I'm interested and I definitely wanted to go do this. So for the first camp, I mean, that's perfect that we're speaking to you because you've got this vertically integrated. The first camp, I know this is a big deal. I don't want to do it, but they can get an EA from Pareto Talent who does, assuming the systems are in place that you teach as well. And you just taught us. And
that's the thing.
What's that?
That's the thing with all of the ongoing training. So Lovable was not on a radar like 6 months ago. And right now, all of my EAs go through 4 hours worth of training even before they're placed with any assistant, just on Lovable.
Okay, so whether you go or you have your EA go, the community is called VCinc.ai, right? That's the one?
Yeah, Vibe Coding Incubator. Yep.
Vibe Coding Incubator. Check this out, VCinc.ai. And by the way, guys, you're listening to this. There's a lot of stuff that Ivan's given us. The notes are available. All you have to do is just click the link, sign up for the newsletter, and they're going to come right to your inbox every week. The show notes going right to your inbox, and all the proper links are in there. So highly recommend you get on that. It's a pretty good newsletter. Okay, Ivan, I want to let's mix this up a little bit. One of the fun segments we like to do on the show is called "The Man in the Arena." Are you familiar with that quote by American President Teddy Roosevelt?
No, not really.
Okay, so I'm not going to read the whole quote, but effectively what it means is it's not the critic who counts, but it's the man in the arena whose face is marred with blood and sweat. Like the guy who's actually in there doing the work. That's what life's all about. And at the same time, the man gets beat up sometimes. And so maybe you could share a little bit of a story. We're talking about all these successful endeavors, but it's maybe something that where life didn't quite turn the way you expected it.
There's a lot of that stuff. Let me start with that. So I was suppressed entrepreneurship for the longest time in my life. So I started, like, I now realize that I was always entrepreneurial, but for longest time in my life, I was not doing that. So for example, first time I was entrepreneurial, I sent candies on my way to school in second grade. I was buying candies outside and selling them in the school. And I thought that's normal. I thought, like, hey, there is a demand in the school. People want candies, and I will buy them before then and bring them, because they're like all of the candy stores in schools were out of like the forbidden stuff. If that makes sense. Then I started launching some not credit cards, but business card business. I started designing business cards for people. But again, on all of these businesses, I was making like virtually no money. Then I started doing some freelance work and started designing stuff for people. Then I launched hookah bar in Poland and so on. All of this business failed. And then I decided maybe I'm not entrepreneurial. And I stopped doing that. And I went to work for people. I went to work like as a kind of a right hand as well to majority of businesses. So I was working with some guy that was designing like innovative phone cases in States. And I was building him like Shopify store. I was building him ads, running him ads for Meta on Google and so on. Like doing everything that a guy wanted to offload. Now I understand. Saving him money because I was charging him like $800 a month for something.
Oh man.
And then I did that. Then I did more of drop shipping with entrepreneur that I work with from Australia. He wanted to create like his own like brand. He called it like Bush Stalker. And he found factory that is producing Yeti cups. And he was able to make like Yeti cups kind of quality and sell them like on his store. And then this guy killed himself in China. And my entrepreneur, like and this guy was promising. So like me as a guy, like freelancer, I was working with them. Like, yeah, that one is for long. Yeah. Then guy just decided to like not do it anymore. And in China, I'm not sure if you know, but in China officially they don't have suicides. So he just was missing forever.
Messing with Yeti company. I mean, who knows what's going
on? They told to his wife that like they found him dead, but they never gave the body or anything. But that's fun. And then that final entrepreneur that I ended up working with was Kasim. And that's what I found for myself, is that the problem was never me. The problem was that I worked with the wrong guys. Because for Kasim, I'd done the same stuff that I did for these people. But Kasim valued that and allowed me to grow. And that's why I stuck with the guy for a lot of years right now. So what I'm now uncovering after we launched Pareto Talent, because Pareto Talent we launched like March 2024. And March 2025, we were celebrating in Italy with first $1 million in revenue for the company. For the company that we launched with $0 in ad spend. We never spent a single bucks on the marketing. Right now, I just started ads on Facebook for the first time, but before that, we never done that. So what I'm leading to with all of that is that if you have any like a desire, entrepreneurial desire, or something that you want to do, and you feel like it's probably not for you, the chances are you just didn't find the right business partner. You need somebody to empower you. And I think like if somebody is looking to start a business or they feel like their business is stagnating, the easiest way to untackle that is to have somebody who brings something else to the table that you don't have, and somebody that will encourage you to continue. Because when you're a solopreneur, it's really hard. You just doubt everything that you do and not sure if that's the right way. And then you don't have anyone else you can bitch about. So for example, if client sends you a stupid email, like obviously stupid email, like they're saying that you're doing something like wrong when you do everything right, you are stuck with that for yourself and you start doubting yourself. Versus if you have a business partner, you can bring this up to them, show it to them, and you will laugh about that together, refine the client and say goodbye to them. And just like this is a concept Kasim taught me, being able to fire clients, best thing ever. not to work with people that you don't like absolutely awesome. And before that, as a freelancer or as an like employee, you don't have this luxury. You work with everyone who has money. And that's kind of the difference with all of that. So hopefully I approached that not from like way too far. Let me know how I did.
No, I think that's good. I want to ask an additional question to that. Now, I've got business partners, and I find myself, Ivan, where I'm more like go with the flow as opposed to create conflict if it's not necessary, right? So I will not always state my opinion unless I think I absolutely need to state my opinion. I love you and Cosm's dynamic when I'm around you guys because you both are going to state your opinion. Whether it's well received or not, you're going to know exactly what you two are thinking. And so I think, how do you have such a great, or how does one get such a great business partnership and still honor themselves and still be themselves, even if there's going to be conflict within the relationship, if that question makes sense?
Yeah, absolutely it does. It reflects back to what you said in the beginning, like about Eastern Europeans. Like we are like hard people and we'll say the truth to the face. That's something like I'm getting used to the US. In the US, like that's rarely happening. No one does that. The people say like, how is your day? Like, great. No one will tell you that, no, it's not. Because that's what the people got used to. So I feel like I was doing that from the very beginning with Kasim, as his executive assistant, then as his like technical team lead, then as CTO and so on. I was always stating my opinion, and sometimes Kasim would come to me and ask me for something, and I would just say no. And that's something that business owners are not used to. They're not used to employees saying no. And I would say no, but here is how we need to do that. So providing better solution from my opinion. So that's why what we found working in our dynamics is that we can tell to each other if somebody else is doing wrong. Right. So if I disagree with you, I will tell you that, and I will offer like my way, and then like we will find like compromise on like how to move forward with that. And the other like biggest thing in the business partnership is trust. Right. So being able to absolutely 100% know that this person will do the right thing, and that's something again I totally got with my business partner, with Kasim, where I know that he will be there in like hundreds of times. For example, like whenever I was in and this is a story that again not been told. Whenever I was in Ukraine when the war started. I was in Kiev, and in the first 2 hours, Kasim, like when it all started, Kasim called me, and he already had a team of Navy SEALs on a helicopter ready to fly in and get us out because he knew somebody that was doing extractions from the country, and these were like literal contractors and all of that. And he was asking me if like I need that. And that was, I believe, like, I don't know the price of that. Like that was like a lot. I declined back then because I needed to stay with my family and it was very uncertain time. But like situations like that, will your partner do that for you if something happens? That's the question that allows you to like get this like trust. And I think it only can be done with time. So I don't believe you can just randomly find a person somewhere and just say, hey, let's be business partners. Like no, I don't believe in that. You need to like intersect with person multiple of times and like get the trust of them. That's how I started like our architects business. In architects, we are building like high level sub accounts, high level SaaS and AI apps. And this is me, Kasim, and Nuno. And
shout out Nuno. Go back and listen to the episode with him. We'll have to have him back on the show too. But go ahead.
Nuno is insane. So here is the whole premise of this business. Me and Kasim, we had a lot of technical EAs in Pareto Talent, and we wanted to launch an agency of technical staffing, like technical guys that will help you with your business. And the focus was high level because like everyone needs high level. If you don't, then you don't know what high level can do. So we decided that we are going to launch the staffing agency, and I wanted to have an aspect to the staffing agency where we'll have some more like technical expert that will be able to guide them and provide training. So we wanted to invite Nuno for like minority share in all of that. And the reason for that is because for years, I started working with high level since like 2018. From the very first months I started working with Kasim. Kasim got introduced to Sean. I was on calls with Sean Clark, like when it was like 5 people, like Matt DeSeno and a couple others. And that was a lot of fun back then. And we were interacting with Nuno multiples of times. And here is the thing. Each time I would reach out to Nuno and ask him for something, he would jump on the call, do it for me, and never charge me a dime for that. He would give me all of the knowledge, all of the things, and just like move forward. And he was so freaking energetic and fast that I wanted to work with a guy like that. So we invited him on a call with me and Kasim and told him, hey, we have this idea. We want to launch this company. And after Nuno's speech, we decided to like make him equal partner. Not minority share, nothing at all. Like, hey, like equal partner, like, let's do that because of how much he brings to the table. But the thing is that I would only know that if I spend this like 5 years interacting with him on multiple occasions, right? So that's, in my opinion, where you like find the business partners, is that people that you enjoyed working with whenever you interacted with them, and people that bring something else to the table that you don't have. Because you don't want two same people like in the company. That's where you have conflicts.
That is incredible. I think one of the powers of masterminds, and we know we love the driven mastermind. We recommend that all the time. And it's you start to meet these people, but even in your normal day-to-day work life, you get to evaluate who's actually reliable, who gets the things done, and then what you mentioned about what Qasim did at that time. And by the way, Amazing Marketing Show, that's exactly what we're known for, is hearing things you don't hear anywhere else. Stories told for the first time. Thank you for sharing that. And for everyone listening, if you're not subscribed yet, I mean, you're crazy, because you're going to miss all the insights like that. That is really cool. Man, helicopters. Anyway, that's not surprising. That
on war stories, like, yeah, that's the different one.
Yeah. And so, man, okay. So we there's 3 different things I want to make sure everyone has, and then I want to ask a question to wrap us up. But and these are all going to be in the show notes, and they're going to be in the links in the description. But we got go.paretotalent.com to go for the executive assistant. And it's not just any scrub assistant. These are like super trained assistants that get the job done. And then vcinc.ai is the vibe coding community. Yes. And you guys just like, this is such an amazing community. You already have 700 members. It's insane. You guys are really good at this. And then the thing with Nuno, that's architects spelled all funny. So I'm not even going to spell it. It's just going to be a link in the show notes.
Kasim absolutely hates this name. Me and Nuno love this name. So this is the name I came up with. And the idea is like architects of technology, architects, kind of. But yeah, the reason it's spelled all my stuff is because it's a .com domain in 7 letters.
Yeah. Well, I think this is the engineering brains and the marketing brains colliding, and there was an explosion called architects. Anyway, so I want to actually, this is where I want to go with this conversation, is talk about the future. So we know what's happening now, and we know how we need to get set up, but like, what's the future look like, Ivan?
So for us, like, all of this AI thing is giving a lot of uncertainty to a lot of businesses on what's going to happen right now. And one of the premises in like what we are talking with Qasim is that as AI is getting like more stronger and stronger, we are in business of staffing. We are in business of people. So the only way for us to survive all of that is to ensure that our EA can use AI much more efficiently than you do. So it makes sense for you to hire them and have them run all of the AI tools for you. That's why our EAs are trained on all of these things. So that's thing number one, is the AI first kind of world where one person will be able to do the output of 100 people. Right now, probably 10, but moving forward, they will be literally able to do output of 100 people. So that's what we are trying to do, is stay on top of all of the new AI tools. And that's the part of the reason why we launched Vibe Coding Incubator, is to force ourselves to stay up to date and learning continuously. Because if you are to present to somebody, you need to have something that you learned to present. So that's what we are trying to do. That's the premise with the AI. The second premise is that I kind of not came up with, but ended up with, is that we are living in a very unstable world, even though it can feel like very stable. So that's something that I kind of experienced with the war starting, because I never thought that in 21st century something like that could happen. But here we are. So whenever I do something, I try to think with like a plan B kind of situation, what is going to happen. So we are ready. So yeah, that's basically the 2 things that I'm most about in right now, is trying to stay up to date with all of the news and all of the developments in the world that's going on right now, and then ensuring that we can utilize AI as fast as possible to make as much money as we can. So when the shit hits the fan, everyone is set with cash. That's the idea.
Yeah, and hopefully bunkered up too.
Yeah, hopefully. We'll see. Yeah, right now. I just read that, yeah, they're closing the skies over Caribbean Sea for the campaign in Venezuela.
Oh, gosh.
That's insane, I'm telling you. Like, we are living in an insane world. And whatever we think is, like, not possible, like, we are just, like, that close from stuff like that. So it's just something that, again, I start to practice. Is maximizing the time while everything is good, but being ready for whenever something will go down.
We're approaching time here, but I don't have a question as much as I have a comment, Ivan. I encourage everybody to, one, check out all the links in the description, in the show notes, to learn more about Ivan's businesses and what he's doing. And also, if you're not following him on social media, we'll include some of that. Ivan, keep your social media game up. You dropped a post that I really liked about, I'm going to destroy the words, but the essence was, most of this world, 99% of the world can't be entrepreneurs. So once we become entrepreneurs, why then are we so surprised that we're lonely? And I thought that was just, there's a lot of wisdom in that. And so anyways, if you're not following Ivan, follow him.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah. That was like, I think on TikTok, I'm trying to break into that. I have the hardest time. So like 5 years ago, I deleted all of the social medias from my phone and never opened them and stopped doing that. And right now, whenever you're an entrepreneur, the biggest thing you can do is personal brand. So I try to like rediscover how to do this sort of stuff organically, where I have kind of a, not need, but to grow myself into having a desire to pull up the phone and record something. That's insane. That's so hard. Mm-hmm. Or like, I would rather like not. So I'm trying to start doing that.
Yeah. But yeah. I think you speak for a lot of entrepreneurs, and we're trying to figure out the brand game. Guys, if you guys have been listening to Amazing Marketing Show, we've had a lot of episodes on this, actually, at least a few. So go back and check those out if you're still working on personal brand. Okay, Ivan, we're out of time. This was obviously just scratching the surface, that we could do this for hours and hours. And I know you have incredible value. But thank you for introducing these concepts and giving people a few options in case they want to go through learning vibe coding, in case they want to get an EA that's already been vetted. And yeah, it's really great to have you on, and thank you for sharing all that with us and including the personal stories.
No, thank you so much for having me. Yeah, we'll be happy to follow up with vibe coding and whatever you guys feel like necessary. And again, we are like giving everything away. So I like this a lot about the current direction with content that a lot of entrepreneurs are utilizing, where you give away the knowledge but sell the implementation. And that's exactly the approach that we are trying to make as well. We also like just wrote a book on like exactly how we are hiring, and we are giving this book away as well. So we are trying to, again, give back as much as we can. So if there is anything, any questions, anything else I can do, please just let me know. But yeah, thank you so much for having me.